Recording in progress.
Tomorrow's the second half of the month. That's the last day of the first.
Yes, correct.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
And then,
I can make all kinds of.
It's lovely. It's lovely to walk into a conversation about you.
It was. You slid under the door just to get here. But you walk.
I did not. No, I am busy as a proverbial one-armed paper hanger for one-legged man in a butt kicking contest.
And if somebody came in.
So how are those two going?
Busy. Both those things are quite overwhelming. We went to find passports prior to our travel and could not locate one of them. Called the Second Department of State and they're like,
I'm gonna
okay.
have to cut you
Oh,
off here.
look at that.
We did that once, shelf, a couple days before we're gonna leave.
Yes.
$600 paying somebody and watching him walk in. Just to get-
So I'm going to call our select board meeting Tuesday, June 14th to order. First item is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Seconded, are there any changes? I do see there's a couple changes that are posted in the packet. Item 5, and agenda addition, approval of the town's consent to the merger between the Addison Partnership and the Smith Partnership, with the Addison Partnership being a surviving partnership. That's something that's kept getting slid. The one time we didn't put it on the agenda, we need to add it back here.
Twice.
Next is item 7. We added, there was another application for DRB, Andrew Klein, so that's been added to the packet. And then agenda item 9, approval of utility relocation agreement for V-Trans culvert replacement project on Route 116. Is there anything that, other than that, to add? No. See, there are none, all in favor of the agenda with the 3 additions, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next is approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
You guys were a little slow on the upstart there.
I thought you were going to go into some explanation on the consent. That's why we were waiting for you.
I already fallen asleep.
Oh, dear.
We've got the reappointment in the consent agenda. A couple things to draw notice to is the reappointment of fire chief and police chief to our regional emergency management committee. And an update on the bird scooters. There's Caitlin Goodspeed, the bird senior account manager, has told Chief Hanley that they have found a person to manage the fleet here, Derek Ducharme. And so we expect that the fleet should be rolling out sometime here fairly soon.
What's the date on that, Brian? Because the chief sent a thing to the Health and Safety Committee that said, with an update, I'm trying to find it.
Well, that letter said early next week. The letter was dated, the email was dated 27th, so they missed that by a week.
Yeah, let me find the email.
When did Health and Safety meet?
They didn't, just the chief sent out a
He sent
sent
out
out an update and said that that had fallen through.
all the individual is no longer.
Yes.
Okay. So we should, if that's the case,
Very sure.
we should amend our consent agenda.
I'm trying to find it, so I know
There's a query function in your email.
Everybody's saucy today.
This is
Wow, this is a tough crowd. I'm gonna go sit under the table for the rest of the.
So,
So,
we may not have to amend anything in the
Yeah,
consent agenda because it's just town manager report,
Mhm.
right?
Well, if we approve it, it's posted to the minutes, we should make it accurate. just thinking because these get sent out, put on the minutes. Let's leave it at that. We will approve everything except for that. It likely need to be updated. So I
Sounds great. That's great.
You friendly motion?
Very friendly. Yeah.
Okay. And all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have citizens' comments. I know we have citizens here for something that is not on the agenda. Feel free to come forward.
Thank you.
Sitting at the other side,
Any? 5 minutes.
sitting on the other side of the table.
Thank you for having us. I sent you a copy of a letter that I had sent to the college Monday of this week, and then followed that with a cover letter to this board. So I think you're aware of the situation, and for the public, what we're here about is a real problem in our neighborhood of student behavior in rented housing in the middle of the block at 53 North Pleasant Street, where we believe it's a total of 7 students are housed from Middlebury College, but they have been conducting a series of parties there on that property. The property is under new ownership. It was passed in the late fall or winter period, and so these parties started showing up as the weather turned good in the spring, and we've seen a series of them. And the parties are marked by a very large population of students coming in, well over 100 at in each turn. The last one was at Memorial Day, and that by the count of one neighboring resident had up to 180 people at this party. So really, it's something out of scale. What we've seen experienced in my reckoning in the town. And it's marked by having these kids trooping across people's lawns to get to the parties. They have no toilet facilities, so they use the lands of the property they're on, and all of us as neighbors, we do that. The music is loud. There's a barn there that's been made into somewhat of a party barn. And so they're really hosting these parties as half into the barn and out in the open air all around. And as a consequence, the noise is very high. There's no provision for parking. There's no provision for any kind of crowd control. Drinking is high, legal and illegal combination. With that crowd, and there, despite our complaints, there's been no change, and the owner has no interest in changing. He's pleased at the improvements he's made to his property, but has not expressed any concern for the improvements in the well-being of the properties and residents surrounding. So we're in a situation where our neighborhood is threatened. We met this week with the College Dean of Students, Derek Doucette, and tried to establish a working relationship there towards betterment of the situation. We've seen some apologies from the college on this score, but no solid efforts yet from them. And so at this point, we're feeling that there needs to be some pressure put to bring the college up to standard. They're not being good citizens on this. It's clear that they are not taking care in how they set their students out in the community. They're not monitoring what's going on. Brian, when we talked this afternoon, you said you had spoken with Sue Ritter about this, and it seemed to be news to her. So the college is not taking stock of what's going on, even though this has been going on for a little while. So on that score, I think we need to make this a public event so that people know what is the problem and that the college needs to do more. But I think also, as I said to you earlier, I think the town needs to do more as well. When these problems started coming up, we started looking at what are the zoning ordinances in the town, and there is a provision on rooming houses, but that's somewhat vague, and it's particularly vague in terms of how the zoning board is applying. The noise ordinance has a very liberal base. Noise limits are not really prescribed. There's not clear direction on what constitutes a problem that the police needs to damp down. So I think we need more done in that regard. And we have, to my knowledge, no rules or standards for very large gatherings like this on private land. If you wanted to go down to a park and have a big gathering, you would need to come in here and get a permit for that activity. And that would require you to show how the activity is going to be managed, how it's going to be overseen, how it's going to be controlled. And none of that's being done for these things on private lands, simply because the town hasn't experienced that kind of thing, really. And the ordinances are not equipped to deal with it. So I think we need to do more in that regard. So we want first to bring it to your attention. And we would hope to enlist the select board and the townspeople in an effort to press the college to do a better job, to be better citizens, and to make and ensure that their students are better citizens, and to toughen up some of the standards here so that we have more protection. This is a real threat to our neighborhoods. We live in a neighborhood which is, I think, common among nice neighborhoods all throughout the town, where people are respectful of one another, friendly and helpful to one another, and certainly are careful not to infringe on others' privacy and well-being. And this blows that all out of the water. And so it becomes a threat to our enjoyment and our value in our properties here. And we just can't let this go on. It's unacceptable. And if you had it going on next to you, I tell you, you would know right away it's unacceptable altogether. Okay?
I actually have a very similar situation next to me. I am a few blocks away from you at Seminary in Washington. And the building across the street from me was recently converted into student housing.
It's on a gun. It's the same owner.
It is, okay. Yeah. What is the response that you've gotten from the owner? Have you received anything in writing?
No, the owner, I did not. He called him.
Oh.
He did call him. But he was very high on what he had done to improve his properties and the investment that he had made. Seemingly without any regard for the investments that all about have made and have done so for years and years. And had no interest in changing horses in terms of how they're handled, because he gets an outlet for those college students.
I believe it's 11 o'clock is the time to be quiet. Has the police?
It's
not-
10 o'clock on the weekend.
Yeah, no, 11 on
But
a
it's
week.
1 o'clock
Oh, yeah,
on
one.
Friday, Saturday, and holidays. So that's weird.
I've had the police come over to the inn on the very infrequent time we had anything outside, and if it was too noisy, even before 1 or 10 o'clock, they told us to tone it down.
Well, that's the thing. I think that the Swift House Inn, which you know well, shows that in a neighborhood like ours, that kind of mixed use can be a real asset. And certainly we who live there feel it is. And that well managed, you can do a lot of different things in a residential neighborhood. You can do them compatible. And I would hope do more. That's great, but people have to be respectful of one another.
I've
It sounds
seen,
like there's a lot of laws being broken. I mean, you can't go urinate in public, and you can't drink when you're underage.
Right?
I've seen at least 2 or 3 more of these kind of complaints on social media. People, one of them was another neighbor of yours has, Madeline stopped by last week to my store and she spoke to me about this, but another customer of mine had stopped by and complained about the same thing. And I saw on Front Porch Forum also that they were complaining about, and they're specific to the college kids, all of these complaints. So, yeah.
Now, we are a neighbor to the east side of this property, or the rear. The party barn that I've described is a lot structure, and it butts right up to our house. The neighbors on the side, and Katie Cover, who is one of them, maybe on Zoom now. I'm not sure. I hope that she is, because she and the other neighbor on the other side really bear greater the stress. They've had cars driving across their lawns to go at people urinating in gardens, all kinds like that. Never.
So I don't think any further public flagellation of the college is necessary. We got the complaint.
Yep.
I don't think more people are speaking on Zoom is going to make anything different. And I think we need to number one with the college. And make that an emphasis point.
And I think you're reaching out to Sue already.
And number two, to relook with chief, what's appropriate. I don't know if having assemblage permits, doesn't penalize anybody who's want to have a wedding or anything, they gotta go. Now we're already fighting permits on town property, and so I that may be a step too far for an initial attempt to rectify.
I didn't have a wedding.
Well, you know, weddings are great, and those are, we don't expect to have to get a permit to have a wedding on private property, so that may be a step too far. I think you've lined out an entire array of options here. But I think we really need to get with chief and see what is enforceable that we're not already enforcing. Because I think there's stuff there. We've had these kids around forever, and we haven't had this level of a problem in years. And I think some of it's getting called, the biggest thing is getting college emphasis on it.
Yeah, we've both seen other points in time. There have been other incidents. I certainly remember in my select board days that we had some peaks and mostly we had valleys to say as so. But
This is bad, and it does appear to tie to one particular property owner, which is too bad.
yeah, and that's the problem. That's why rules need to come into play, because it only takes one bad apple to really spoil it.
A fairly heavy sanction here. It looks like there's $1,000 fine per incident available to the city. If we could figure out a fair way of using this from the property owner that negligently allows disturbance of peace, there may be a way to make it worth his while to care about these things.
Josh?
I have one point. I have a lot of stuff, but not really. As we mentioned, it's a really nice neighborhood. We've got a lot of birds and wildlife and squirrels. It was a set of pair of cardinals nesting in the tree right next to the party barn. And we watched as they made their nest and started to raise their young, and now they're gone. They got pushed out by the noise from the party. I don't know why else they would do it. But I think that's telling. I know that seems funny, but I think it's telling.
So that we can see on the camera.
Okay.
I wasn't as bothered because I wasn't being plugged in. But I did notice during the days, the parties were very loud until midnight. And then they wind down silent at 12:30 on the weekends for one. Because the silent place out, so they see the people in my government don't do that. They have to really about.
Okay, well, we are not an agenda item.
Let's keep in touch on this. I'll let you know what we hear back from college on this.
Okay, we'll communicate back. But we'll be pushing as hard as we can to get resolved.
Okay.
Is there anything we could do, like getting a list of neighbors, sign something like that?
I don't think that's important. What's important is documenting when it happens and and making sure that Chief Hanley and Colin to report it so it gets logged. That's more important than getting a mob to testify. I mean, we don't discount what you say. We believe what you say. Now it's a matter of taking action.
Concrete action.
Concrete action, yeah. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
yeah.
It'll be quiet for silent.
Is there anybody on the Zoom?
Yeah, Fred is there, Karen's there, and Sue is there. Nobody has their hand up,
So next, approval of the town's consent to the merger between the Addison Partnership and the Smith Partnership, with the Addison Partnership being the surviving partnership. The board's.
Are you expecting anyone for this to come in?
From where?
Like anyone on Zoom to come in for this agenda item?
I don't believe so. So there's a draft consent to the merger in our packet, and in addition to formalizing the town's consent for the merger to take place, the document specifies that the Addison Partnership, as the surviving partnership, will be bound by all terms and conditions of the original loan agreement and all related loan documents. So it effectively simplifies it from multiple partnerships down to one partnership. And and they still have the same responsibilities. Is there any questions? Is there a question at all on this particular act? If there's not, then I would ask for the pleasure of the
I'll
board.
move to authorize town manager Kathy Ramsey to sign the consent to merger between Addison Housing Limited Partnership and Smith Housing Limited Partnership on behalf of the town.
Moved and seconded. Again, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, I do expect Karen to comment.
I'm moving, I think I'm moving her into, yep.
Is she in Zoom?
Yep.
Oh, hey, Karen. So Karen's here.
Hi guys. Oh, I'm good. I'm lying here.
You're in the car.
You're in the car.
I'm actually at my son's baseball game, so I appreciate you guys. I didn't have to do much of that today. Those, the days go by really fast within this age, so I try to get in as many of them as I can.
Yeah, don't miss them. So you want to bring us up to date on BMP activities?
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to start with kickstart. You guys got, I was assuming the press release that we sent out in your packet that detailed out the winners of the round 2 funding that we had. I wanted to see if you had any questions. I can go through that, but assuming we already had a chance to take a look at it. Do you want me to run through? I want to have this in your time too. So do you want me to run through that, or do you want to just ask me questions about the process and then round 2 winners?
I think it was in the packet. Does anybody have any questions on that? We're excited to get some more tenants downtown, I'd say, so.
Yeah, definitely. I am too, all the really strong candidates, and I think bringing a lot of experience to the table. And I'm particularly excited about the retail component of these two. We're missing a few retailers still in downtown. 2 of these spaces have been empty for a really long time, so it's going to be really good to see those filled. And from everything that I'm hearing, those are within the next couple of months. So it'll be really great. If anybody has any questions, please always feel free to reach out. And I want to talk about the summer market. So we started this on May 19th. This came about from a grant from Table 21 that enabled us to hire a market manager and also bring in live stick every week. And this Thursday will be our 5th market so far. Not the best weather. So I feel like every week I watch the weather report on like Monday morning. It's like, oh, it's going to be beautiful. It's Thursday. You gotta be kidding me. But so far the vendors are growing every week, and it's really happy to be there. The people are definitely starting to know that this is happening on a consistent basis. We're getting people coming downtown to something to do, which is exactly what we wanted. Nancy Carpenter is our market manager. She is absolutely phenomenal. Some of you know her better than others, but she is fantastic and just a ball of energy, and I'm so happy to be working with her. The vendors absolutely love her, which is just, it's all around just a really great experience. We are keeping track every week of the revenue that the vendors are doing, because all of them are local businesses, so this is all economic development. And we're also trying to figure out ways to pull that crowd to our existing businesses. We've offered up an opportunity for any of them to do some sort of discount or incentive for the evening. We've offered up spaces for them to come to the market for free if any brick and mortar wants to come. And so, I would say we're still kind of getting our feet under us as school is just getting out and summer tourists are coming, but it really feels like we're starting to hit a stride here, and I'm really excited to see what's happening. Any questions about the market?
What's the occupancy right now on the vendor side?
Yeah, actually, I'm so glad you asked that question. So we started out thinking we were going to fit. If you guys recall the conversation we had about the park when we were getting it started, we were talking about could it fit a farmer's market? It's going to be small, right? As soon as we started doing those tents up, we were thinking, okay, maybe 12, 15 vendors. We could easily fit 50 vendors between that space.
Wow.
Wrapped around by the depot. I mean, and if we utilize Merchants Row, I mean, this could be one of the biggest markets in the area by far. So, I wanted to mention that we are working with the farmers market. We have been in conversations with them about the possibilities of them sort of seeing this as a stepping off point at some point to maybe possibly being interested in coming back downtown. We sort of said to them that this is a no risk participation. We're doing the coordination, we're doing the music. Just come, we're offering farmers market vendors a 50% discount every week to be there. And just saying, like, test it out and see if it works. And if you're happy with it, let's talk next year or even the year after. But, we would happily hand this off if the farmer's market is interested at some point in wanting to come down and just take this over again. Awesome. So I think one thing that has been clear week after week, regardless of the weather, people are so excited to see it happening. You get that comment the entire night, how great it is to see something going on in that space. And that's really what that space is designed for, right? It's just filled with people. And so it feels really good. If you haven't come down yet, please do. It's a really fun night, and it's a really good experience. Any other questions about that? And then we've got a couple of things. The market's definitely a little more work than I was expecting. It's probably the same. And I'm hoping that we'll hit a stride here as we get into it a little bit more. It's taking a lot to get set up. But we've got a block party that we're hoping to do this year. So I actually just filled out the public establishment permit. We're hoping for August 4th. So you guys will probably be seeing that across your desks pretty soon. And then I expect to come back with another meeting to have a conversation about exactly what we're looking at. But we're going to do it on a market night. So part of the planning is already done. We'll have the vendors, we'll have music. We're going to utilize the plaza space by the Trent Park and then the green. And I'm anticipating really only closing the stretch by the post office. As opposed to all the way down the street. So I think that's going to be, it'll be a nice sort of hybrid of market and this other event. So that'll be great. And then in October, we're teaming up with the Chamber of Commerce to do an antique car show and fall fair. That's going to be October 16th. And we're looking to close the road. That's Sunday. We're looking to close Main Street on that. Did fill out a couple of summers for that already. And so Phil Summers from the Chamber and I will be in front of you as we get a little closer to start going over the details and the logistics of that as well.
Fun.
I think that's kind of the highlights for me right now. Anybody have any questions about either of those two things?
No.
Has the car show thing happened in this area before?
It happened in Bristol for a couple years, and then the folks that did it actually disbanded from what I understand, and so Bristol is not having a car show. So the Chamber was involved in it, and so they're bringing it to Middlebury. They don't have a Middlebury event.
Yeah.
So this is the first event since Maple Run you see a chamber event. And so it's really great to see them do something really on a large scale, and I'm excited to team up with them. And I think we're going to have a really good time working together, bringing a lot of people, car show enthusiasts are, they will travel, right?
They sure do, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Stowe event is always huge.
Yes.
I think we need one down here. That's great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm excited to be part of it for sure.
Stove's out in that field, right?
Yeah.
This one will be talking about shutting down everything east of the bridge.
Yes.
It'll be on most of the hardscape. It'll be our
Yeah.
first time doing that, other than the block party after the dance after
Right.
Festival of Green.
Right. Last night.
Yeah.
Well, we used to close the downtown with Chili Fest.
Chili Fest. Yeah, that was really block party.
Close the whole
We did amend the permit to per Chief Handler's recommendation. We're going to close it up until Mill Street so that we maintain access to those businesses. We don't close it all the way down to the town office because, Stone Mill is going to have, guests that weekend most likely. It's pretty a significant disruption because it didn't really need one way on the other side. So we're going to stop right at Mill Street, but we're hoping to be able to go all the way up to, the top of the main. And then one of the things that we're working on now is just outreach to the churches because it is a Sunday. And then I have already talked to Tri-Valley. MM's Chief Shaw and Chief Family. So we're working our way through on the communication side.
Great.
Any other questions?
Awesome.
I think we're good. Now we can get back to the ball game.
What's the score?
Thank you guys. So I think my team was winning when I came over, but I just heard some cheers from the other side. So I gotta check it out.
See you,
Bye,
Karen.
guys.
Bye, Karen.
Bye.
It's exciting to see all the activity that's starting to mushroom in the downtown. We've been without it for so long here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We get some good weather. That Thursday night's gonna be fun.
Yes, I
Rain
know.
most of the time.
If it rains again this Thursday, that'll be 4 out of 5
Right.
Thursdays that it's rained.
Man.
The one time it didn't rain
rain.
was when we were on vacation.
There you go.
Guess we'll just have to.
Rainfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay, next is nominations for appointment to the Development Review Board. And in accordance with 24 VSA Section 127-308, the town recently advertised for candidates interested in completing Ann Taylor's term on the Development Review Board, which expires in April of 2023. At the time that this was printed originally, there were no new applications submitted. And so the staff reached out to Jonathan Miller, Vigor Bowe, and Phyllis Stinson, who had applied earlier in the spring for appointment to the DRB, and all expressed continued interest in serving. Since then, yesterday, Andrew Klein also submitted an application for appointment. We'll be doing our decision. This is where we make a nomination for appointment, and then we will decide in 2 weeks at the next board meeting. And I think I would like to encourage all the candidates to be available to say hi and talk to us at that meeting. Is anyone on right now? Because Jonathan's here, and maybe just have Jonathan say hi to us while he's here, so he doesn't have to come up to the next one if he doesn't want to.
You want to come up and introduce?
So we did meet Jonathan on Zoom last time.
Actually here.
Were you here?
And, but the time before, it was 2 times before I was on.
I remember I met you one time on Zoom, yes. So, just familiarize us again with your background. I know you've got experience in some of this.
Yes, I could probably talk for an hour.
Yeah, give it a 2-minute update.
Take all the time we want, 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. I'm an architect and a specifier with 40 years experience in architecture, over 30 registered. During that time, I volunteered professionally for a number of organizations, AIA, CSI, construction certifications, a co-op, 2 co-ops, 3 co-ops, food co-ops. So I was on multiple boards over that time. Chair different committees on different levels, all the way up to institute. I'm a fellow of CSI and I'm a fellow ever. And I spend my days sitting on the computer. My job is to work with manufacturers around the world to be included in master spec. Master spec is the guide specification. There's about 1,000 sections that are used by 80,000 architects. And I'm one of the people that actually I call master spec. I run one of their programs called Product Master Spec, where I work with the manufacturers to re-edit it for their products. So I've been doing that for 6.5 years, worked with 500 different manufacturers. Before that, I've been, besides a draftsman, I take all of it. And I rolled the computer up to my desk and stopped that. I'm a master craftsman, master detailer, project architect, project designer, project manager. $140 million worth of construction as an project architect, and $3.8 billion in construction as a specifier. So I'm very experienced with that. My dad was a planner, so I grew up with that. I became an architect because he didn't like them. But I did work with him when he went through his development phase, when he was a developer. So as well.
I'm thinking that CSI doesn't mean crime scene investigation in this context.
Construction Specifications Institute.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Started by the architect of the Navy. No, architect.
Okay.
Back in 1958. There were about 500 fellows ever since then.
Nice.
Well, we appreciate your continued interest, and we'll be making a decision on the 20. Trying to find it in my 28. So yeah, 2 weeks from today.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Don. So I would entertain a motion for nomination of appointment.
I'll move to enter Jonathan Miller, Gregor Bro, Phyllis Stinson, and Andrew Klein into nomination for appointment to the vacancy on the DRB expiring in April 2023.
Seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next is our zoning.
Fred has his hand up.
Who does?
Fred Dunnington. Hang on just a second.
Good work on the Zoom.
Hi, Fred.
Hi, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Fred.
So I would say how pleased I am that you have many qualified applicants for this board. In my 30 years of working with boards and dozens of members, I would just say that, in my opinion, it's not so much whether they have particular qualifications, an architect, real estate investor, or knowledge of town, so much as they have wisdom. And that they're able to listen, and if they don't know the answer to what is unreasonable traffic congestion, or what is unsafe condition, or whatever it is, or good standards zoning, provided they have the wisdom to ask for more information to help them understand it. So the skills that we're looking for is in appointing these people. I think it's great to show up candidates you have. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. Nice seeing you.
I'm gonna put you back in the audience, Fred. I think.
Okay, so next on the agenda is we need to warn the zoning bylaw amendments for a public hearing. And in accordance with 24 VSA section 441G, Planning and Zoning Director Jennifer Murray has officially submitted for our consideration the proposed amendment to Middlebury's zoning bylaws and the Planning Commission's updated report summarizing the revisions. This latest iteration reflects updates the Planning Commission has made since its May 26th public hearing on the matter. A link to all documents related to the amendment can be found at the 2022 Middlebury Zoning and Subdivision Regulations Update page on the town website. Under section 4442 of the same chapter, it now falls upon the Select Board to warn the first of two required public hearings to take community testimony on the proposed amendment. Using the bylaw amendment schedule in the plan and bylaw adoption tools that Jen has provided as guidance and shared with us when we had her in for our strategic planning session, Scheduling the first hearing for the board's July 12th meeting would meet statutory requirements for both the 30-day waiting period following bylaw amendment submission and the minimum public notification period prior to the hearing. I do plan on writing, I had said I was going to write it, something to put into the paper, and Jim Gish and I get together, and Jim's helping me to put something in, because I want to draw attention to this, make sure we get participation, but at the same time asking for buy-in on why it's important for us. This does there's a number of changes in here that help us, that are intended to help us start to make progress in the housing, the lack of housing. And so I would encourage anybody who's watching to go to the town's website and look at the 2022 Middlebury zoning and subdivision regulations update, and certainly reach out to us if you have questions. We'd love to hear from you. Jen obviously is our staff expert on this. But the board, it's now been turned over to the board to walk it through some of its final steps. Any questions or comments on that? And I would seek a motion.
I'll move to warn a public hearing for the board's regular meeting on Tuesday, July 12th, to take testimony on the proposed bylaw amendments to the Middlebury zoning and subdivision regulations.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, well, they've put a lot of work into that. I can't believe they've stayed right on that. Jen's a taskmaster, isn't she?
Yes.
Next is approval of the utility relocation agreement for V-Trans culvert replacement project on Route 116. V-Trans submitted for board approval a utility relocation agreement for the state's project to make improvements to bridge number 3 on Route 116. It's also known as the Dow Pond Culvert. That's how I know it. Probably most everybody around here knows it. The town owns a water line passing through the state's right of way within the construction area. From our DPW planning director, Dan Warner, this is an agreement between the town and the state of Vermont for the water main replacement within the construction area of the Dow Pond Culvert under Route 116. The state will replace the water main through its contractor performing the culvert work. The town will reimburse the state based on actual quantities. The estimated cost is $66,469.70 based on an estimate from Landmark Design, who's our consultant and designer of the initial project completed in 2020. The town will provide on-site inspection of the work at our cost. Funds have been reserved for this project. I don't know if you want to say anything about this, Heather. Get any comments on it? No?
I don't, this has been a couple of years in the making, that we have already done some work we needed to do to accommodate the move. So,
Okay.
pretty straightforward.
Any questions? Then pleasure of the board.
I'll move to authorize the town manager, Kathy Ramsey, to sign the utility relocation agreement with V-Trans for the state's project to make improvements to bridge number 3 on Route 116.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Was that Lindsay?
Yes.
I could barely hear.
Oh,
her.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she seconded.
I'm not taking notes, so I want to make sure Beth can hear the recording.
Okay.
Lindsay said.
And any opposed? Okay. Next is approval of the check warrants, and I believe that's Kermit here?
Actually,
You
I,
guys swap?
Lindsay covered for me in the first of May, so I swapped.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
go back. So I did the warrant review yesterday. It was a big stack. We lucked out because it was a 3-week, right? No,
That's right.
because it was a 3-week window, so it was quite a stack of review.
She doing you a favor to swap?
Lindsay knew
It's like
that.
time and a half.
Yeah.
She looked ahead, said 3 weeks.
Yeah. She said, sure, I'll cover for you. I'll move to total expenditures in the amount of $1,339,266.17, consisting of $1,190,173.23 for accounts payable, $149,092.94 for payroll for the period of May 22nd, 2022 through June 14th, 2022.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I made notes too, so when you asked me what was like so big in there, I could tell you.
Wait.
So what was so big in
I
there?
know you had the list.
One of them was the,
There was a bond payment to.
People's United,
United. And then there was a payment to Belden on the water line work. There was submersible pump repair. There was a bunch of water line stuff, EJP, FW Web, Ferguson. There was 10,000 overdrive for the library. So.
I didn't want you to waste your time.
But I figured as I was going through and making little notes, so I could answer the question.
All right, board member concerns. We have a relatively short agenda today. Dan?
I just had a question for you. In somewhere in our prep, I read that the college is looking at doing a utility project, a power utility project that you've been talking to them about. Did I read that correctly?
They have for a while, but it's gotten geared back. No, I hadn't really talked to them about it, but Ross Conrad had wanted to try to re-energize, you talk about the water utility project.
Yeah, I assume that's what it was.
And I found out that they're also interested in it. I think, well, it's great for us. We have had Dave Hallam working for years on it, and if the college can make it happen, all the more power to them. So.
Who owns who is the property owner who owns the sluice wing or wherever the generator gets?
Yeah, it's,
Anderson.
Gotcha.
and we've tried negotiate. I've never personally negotiated with them on it, but we've had town staff and through attorneys, and it's every time it just keeps getting shut down at the last minute, feeling just trying to spend a ton of costs to make that happen. I don't think it's, especially now, I don't think it's necessarily a great investment for the town if we can't have access to the property at a fair price.
Sure.
But the college is trying to do everything net zero, and they may be willing to pay a little bit. So that's
Okay, thank you.
that's kind of the latest. And I encourage Ross to let them see if they could make something happen. Because we've got other things that are high priority for the board, and I didn't feel like that was
Right.
on there. Andy?
The library had already had our retreat on Sunday, followed by our regular meeting last evening. And at that time we came up with what feel like very good mission statements. I am never impressed by these short statements. But when you see the effort that goes into every word and agonize over the particular phrasing and choice, you get some sense of how the 50 or so that we reviewed as we pulled ideas from here and there. Just the sum of effort is massive. Anyway, it feels very good. I think it encapsulates what the library wants to be and how it likes to think of the town and its role therein.
You care to share that statement?
You know, it's about to be posted on the website, and there's a request out for those who are interested to provide feedback on it. I think that will go out in the next library newsletter, which should be at the end of the month.
Is that the same that Steve Gross sent to us?
Yes, it is the one that he sent to the group this morning.
Let me send it to you, Brian.
Speaking of this particular property owner of student housing, they did a great job on 90%, 95% of the project in our neighborhood, and then stopped with the where's the line? Why is there construction debris along the side of the property?
Drive by that place a lot. Like, God, you made the place look.
Why is it never been mowed in the middle of June? They got right close to the finish line and got it rented and walked away. I empathize with the folks that came to talk to us earlier.
Okay. Heather?
I don't have anything to mention.
Okay, Farhad?
I'm just wondering, have you or Kathleen reached out to Senator Sanders or anybody about the Amtrak? Remember the opening of the Amtrak?
I have not. No. I haven't done that.
Just getting closer to us on the date.
Do we have the date again?
I think it's July 21st
Have the
or
date of the opening.
end of July sometime.
Have to make yourself a note. Okay, anything else, Farhad?
Nope, thank you.
Esther?
So as Karen was talking about the upcoming events, I got really excited because I remember when I first moved here in the summer of 2019, I attended the block party. And that, I guess with me and the kiddos, I was just so happy to be in Middlebury. So to have that come back makes me really excited and happy to be here. So I'm excited to see all that's going to happen this summer. So yeah.
Yeah, the block party, and that was in the middle of the rail project.
Yes,
I'm glad you felt good.
on the bridge.
Yeah, I felt good about it. Yeah.
So, adding to Andy's update on Ilsley, I'm not sure how many people are aware, but Ilsley has a wonderful teen group called the Teen Advisory, run by Kathleen Liberty, who is the teen and tween librarian, and their teens and our teens at the Teen Center wanted to have a pride parade. So we are inviting everyone to our pride parade on Saturday. We have intentionally kept it a little bit out of the media and a little bit low key because neither Catherine nor I really have any sense of what we're doing. But I did call Karen Dugang and she was very gracious to give me a very long 45-minute rundown. So we'll see how I do. It might be a disaster, but it will be a homey and fun disaster. We're gonna start here at College Park at 12 noon on Saturday and just walk to the green. It's not gonna be a very long parade. And then we have a teen band lined up to play, and we'll have some yard games, bring a picnic, so it'll be a nice time. So, and obviously we're hoping it's something we could do regularly every year, but it will depend on how this goes. But I'm sure the teens would really appreciate your support. They've been really working hard to put things together. So yeah, we're inviting everyone. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know where she gets the energy.
So I noticed in Dana's report that the grant that she requested, it wasn't a grant, I guess. For the congressional, it was federally directed congressional funding from Lee did not get moved forward, which was the fourth, believe that was the $4 million request to help rehab the library. So that was quick and shot down.
Yeah.
They did move one of our community projects, though, for renovation and work on St. Mary's.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those deals where you have to try every year, and for us to get two large projects in one community might have been a bridge too far.
Yep.
Lindsay, what time is the parade?
The parade is at noon on Saturday.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That'll be it.
I don't have anything, so.
Hang on, sorry.
Executive session.
Has his hand. Okay, if I let him in?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not paying 100% attention. You're on mute, Fred. There you go.
Hi, just a comment, a brief comment. Brian writes on the first time you're, that there were parties in town, and I would just submit to you that your town charter has all the power that is necessary to regulate gatherings on public and private properties. And Oklahoma Media, very clear. And I drafted some things for Tom Hanley, Jim, and Kathleen have regarding alcohol, cannabis, several months ago. But you might look again at what your authority is and that you not realize you have in the public assembly tournament. To regulate things, to address the concerns raised earlier in the civic comments section. I'll leave it there.
Okay, thanks, Fred.
Yeah.
So who would like to take us into executive session?
I only know one person who's ever done it.
I can do it. Hang on. I'm just trying to do exceeding my multitasking ability here.
You want me to do it?
You want to do it?
Thank you.
Take care, thanks for coming.
I got it. Go ahead.
I have frequently had, as part of the motion, mentioned town staff people are invited into executive session. So for the meeting minutes, it's clear who all attended. I know that's not been our practice, but if we have Kathleen or Jen or someone who we need to bring in just to have that as part of the motion, so that it's clear who we're conversing with, if anyone. Just an idea.
Have we had any? How often?
We always have only Kathleen.
It's all recorded, so. It's evident.
There is video evidence now.
Well, that's right, we don't record these. That's right, we don't record.
Yeah, anyway, it's a thing that I've seen. That's all.
Well, I think certainly if we had anyone outside of the norm, we should let people know who was there.
I agree if we have anybody other than the board and the town manager.
Yeah, okay, good.
I think that's important if we brought in Chief Hanley.
Excellent.
Okay. So in accordance with Vermont's open meeting law requirements, I move that the board find that premature general knowledge of the consideration of it's repeated, but real estate matters and contracts would clearly place the select board at a substantial disadvantage because the select board risks disclosing its litigation strategy if it discusses the real estate matters and contracts in public.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I further move that the board enters into executive session to discuss real estate matters and contracts under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of Vermont statutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we're moving into executive session at 8:05.
Expect voting action.
Sorry?
I expect voting action.
I do think on the contracts.
So Fred, if you would please sign off